Imagine this. Your whole life is Islam. You're born in Pakistan, you're taught from a young age, and you believe it. Like, really believe it. Then one day you move to Canada and slowly your perspective changes. Even though you're Muslim, you're treated with dignity by non Muslims, and you think, wow, we don't even do that to Ahmadis in Pakistan. You see that these are decent people. You slowly open up your mind and heart. Somebody asks you a question about Islam, so you look into it. And slowly you realize that your religion is a lie. I'm speaking about my dear friend Abdullah Gondal. We did a very emotional interview, and it was the first time he spoke publicly about losing his faith. You can see he almost cries at times. It was a beautiful discussion, and he really opened up. Here it is now.
Well, Islam to me was literally my whole life. At one point, like I was just everything revolved around Islam. My priority was religion. My studies and everything came secondary. I identified myself as a Muslim first, Pakistani later. Uh, it gave me this strength. And one thing I noticed, like the culture in Pakistan, the society there, actually uh, said it's good to practice more and more and more. Like they push it. So even as a child, as a young teenager, I always had a lot of confidence because people always were like, "Oh, you're so good, mashallah, subhanallah, this kid is on the right path." And they'll tell my parents that, and my parents were really happy, and they would make me as an example for my brothers. Like, look at him, he's going to the mosque 5 times a day, he's reading the Quran, he's getting to salah. Then a point came where religion just took over my whole life. I'd say, really uh, Salafi extreme mentality. Like no music. If I heard music, I'd literally drive fingers in my ears.
So,
Uh,
so just to jump in, was this in Pakistan while you was, so you came, so when did you come to Canada?
I came to Canada at the end of 2013 in December.
Oh, okay. Oh, there you go. It sounds much better now. 2013 December you came. Okay, so you grew up most of your life in Pakistan. You've been here like about 4 years or so?
Yeah, just 4 years.
Okay, so you became Salafi in Pakistan, but your family's not Salafi.
Yeah, they're just Sunni Muslims. But yeah, I was well, in technical terms, I was Deobandi first, and then I levitated towards Salafism. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So your family is okay with music and movies and all that? They were cool with that?
Yeah, like they were cool with that, but they'd still identify it. It's still a sin. Like they wouldn't say it's a good thing.
Okay, okay. So then, so how did you end up becoming more hardline, let's say?
I don't know. It's just like the one thing that played a lot was fear of the afterlife, fear of
Right.
death. Then when I started learning like a little bit of Arabic to understand the Quran when it was being recited, and the torturous descriptions in there, I mean, I was just a child, like about 15, 16, hearing like God's gonna pour like molten lead on your head and all that. So that scared me a lot. And I mean, obviously, I was told by all my relatives and all my families and friends that this is the absolute truth. This is gonna happen. So that fear part played a lot. Uh, then how I came to think that Islam is the absolute truth. There was a bunch of things that started with like listening to Dr. Zakir Naik and a few other people, Dr. Israr Ahmed, giving like proofs of why Islam is right, scientific miracles in the Quran and all that stuff. So social pressure, families pressure, and then all that put together, I just levitated towards a really extreme form of Islam, really, really strict.
Right, right. So as you were growing up, Islam was a big part of your life. You, as a kid, you were surrounded by Islam. But did you ever have any doubts as a kid? It doesn't sound like you did. It sounds like you just took it for granted that this is what my family taught me, this is the truth. And then you wanted, to protect yourself. As a child, all of us, even as an adult, we have this instinct for survival. And the fear of hell is something that is used against us. So this fear of hell for you and for me both, it got you more into believing Islam. Reading the Quran actually made you a stronger believer. Correct? Like so far so good.
Yeah, definitely.
Right. And then you said you became Deobandi. So was it the local masajid over there that kind of influenced the path that you took?
Yeah. When I started off, it was more of like a Barelvi thing, but then slowly, when I learned more about Islam, the concept of hadith, the sayings of Muhammad, how important they are, I started levitating slowly towards Deobandis because they took everything kind of more literally.
So you grew up, you became more religious. How your family were they okay with you being more religious? That's socially acceptable over there. What sacrifices and choices did you make in your life in Pakistan that were based on Islam? Like, did you avoid working for the bank, anything like that? Like what? How did it affect your life being a Muslim?
Yeah. I'll just go into a few incidents just to give you an idea how brainwashed or indoctrinated I was at one point. I would not go out with my family to restaurants because there was background music being played at the restaurants.
Right.
If I did have no choice, I will go to the restaurant and I would put earphones in and listen to the Quran. I wouldn't go to weddings because there was a lot of music. I wouldn't even go to like school functions, like our farewell graduation party. I wouldn't go there. I wouldn't go to a bonfire party. Nothing, just because of religion.
And over there, there's no alcohol, right? It's not even like there's drinking, right? I mean, at weddings and at like these parties, it's just music, right?
Yeah, it's just music. Yeah, and
Let's say,
dancing.
right? And mixing women and men, right?
Yeah. I mean, that also to a really small extent. Like a lot of people in Pakistan still have segregated weddings, like men and women sit separately.
Oh, okay.
But
Okay.
I'll mention this one really shocking incident, which I always tell people. So I was really really what people say nerd in school, and what ended
It's
up
like,
happening was I got interviewed and became the head of the student council, like a head prefect or like a head proctor or a head monitor of the whole school.
right.
So the funny thing was that there was an oath-taking ceremony on stage in front of the whole school. There was about like 400 kids in front of me, and I was standing on stage, and the principal was a female, right? Now, interestingly, she's an aged lady. She's the age of my own mom. Her son was my classmate. Now, when I was on the stage, I noticed that she's giving out the badge and the sash, and she has to shake your hand and take your picture. So this hadith came in my mind that if you touch a woman who is not lawful for you, it is better to drive a nail through your head.
Yeah.
And I kid you not, I went up, I was the head prefect, okay? She extended her hand, and I said in front of 400 kids, no, sorry, I don't shake hands with women.
Oh.
This was the extent how serious I was taking religion.
How did people react how did you feel? Were you scared to do it? Were you confident?
Actually, I was confident. I was happy. I thought I'm doing an amazing thing. And
Okay.
funny enough, the reaction was really really weird. A couple of my teachers, who were religious as well, called me after the ceremony, shook my hand, and congratulated me for standing up for the religion of Allah.
Oh.
One of the teacher's brother was a mufti. He had his brother, who I have no idea who he is, call me and congratulate me for doing this.
Okay. So you were definitely living your life according to Islam. And why were you doing that? Like, okay, well, actually, you did say you didn't want to commit any haram. You wanted to be on Allah's good side. Is that right?
Yeah. I was
Okay.
legitimately scared of the punishments. Like I would get up in the middle of the night, I would cry, I once passed out of fear of the hellfire when I was reciting certain verses from the Quran. And this was me at like the age of 17 or 18.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ألف لام تلك آيات الكتاب المبين إنا أنزلناه قرآنا عربيا لعلكم تعقلون.
Wow,
Yeah.
wow. Amazing story. So then eventually you left Islam. Was that in Canada or not yet? So then you came to Canada?
Yeah.
What happened?
So, well, my story was I came to Canada in 2013. I was still very practicing, and I'll tell you, like, I never used to wear jeans or t-shirts. I only used to dress in like the shalwar kameez or those thobes. And I was really like trying to live like the most simplistic life, closer to the prophets. And when I did come to Canada, it was after 3 years, the first time I bought a pair of jeans.
Wow.
Was a few days before I came to Canada. And when I did come to Canada, right, I rolled up the jeans as well to keep them above the ankle, because Muhammad said that any garment that is below the ankle is in the fire. And
Yeah.
all of my dresses were stitched like that as well. So I was really trying to implement it 100% in my life. Like I had a huge beard that came out of the other side of my fist. I wish I could show you guys my my IDs and stuff, the pictures. It's just I don't want to show them right now, so personal safety.
And then, so what happened after that? Like, how did you end up leaving Islam?
Well, the way I left Islam was I'll have to backtrack a little bit just to show you how involved I was in the community in Winnipeg and what ended up actually happening. After I came to Winnipeg, I got more involved in the community. I was at the local MSA, and I was giving khutbas, azans, and leading prayer for about 2 years. Then what ended up happening was I was living close to the university. I finished my education, and I moved away from it, and I started working. Started talking to a lot of people at work, and some of them were atheists, some of them were Christians. So they started asking a bunch of questions. And that had already been 2 years of me being in Canada, so my perspective of the world had changed. I had realized that, hey, listen, man, like treating women with respect is essential. Women are as intelligent as men. There's human rights. We shouldn't be chopping people's hands off and all that. And then when people started asking me questions about Islam, I started doing research in an attempt to answer them.
Sorry to end it there, but if you want to hear the rest of it, the full video is in the description. And you can find Abdullah on Facebook. The link will be below. Finally, if you're enjoying this content, please consider supporting me. Monthly support allows me to plan my efforts and gives me a financial base that I can use to spend more time and energy on this project. Currently, I have just 30 monthly supporters on Patreon and a few on PayPal. Each and every one of you who is donating, I appreciate you so much. Please help me to increase that number. If you can't afford a monthly donation, please consider a one-time donation. I will link to my support page below. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned and continue being a part of this journey. This is Abdullah Samir signing out.